Oh, sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. My sidebar was gone, but I got my sidebar back. I don't know what happened.
Oh, God.
And welcome to another week of Dungeons and Dragons with your favorite streamers.
And Rex.
I was like, is this going to be a joke every time now, DB?
Listen, if Critical Role can say the same thing forever and make $10 million on Twitch every week, I can do it too,
like,
okay?
I will get at least $1 out of this.
Hey,
I will milk $1 out of this someday.
This time at least we'll make it honest, because I'm not a streamer. So
there you go.
That's true. That's
all
true.
your favorite streamers and Rex.
And the season of the Lucky has ended. The party have felled many mighty foes. Many. The longest running string of combat encounters that we've had to date. Almost 3 full sessions of nothing but grinding, gristling, harrowing combat. Some fell. Barum was laid to rest. Well, kind of. In the beginning during Argynvostold. Gwyn nearly fell. Aaron has had a couple of close calls. But now peace falls upon Balaki. Smoke rises from the ashes of burned down houses and businesses. And the party split up in order to find some supplies that they would need for the journey to presumably Castle Ravenloft, for it seems only the big bad himself remains. And into this split party, a mysterious figure who seems to have a not so mysterious past arrives before Luciole and Aaron at the house, the Undertaker's house, where Aaron had watched this very man get turned into a vampire. For it seems to be Luciole Athair that stands before them now. He is still helmeted and armored in black plate, but he is the voice that comes out of his helmet is almost unmistakable, a little lifeless sounding, as if there's no breath to the voice within the helmet. But that blue fire, unmistakable. After Luciole's transformation, his flames became tinged with this blue color. And let's go to our scene.
He's a magic boy.
Pause means creepy ambience. Go. All right, can you guys hear music?
Yes.
Yes, it's very
Good.
creepy sounding.
Very good.
Why is it
It's
always...
a DB session.
I always get it
It's
so
so
late
loud.
after everyone else, dude. Every time.
Beds. Luciole's hand burns with the blue flame that he keeps raised and clenched in the air between the three of you for a moment. Then he stretches his arm to the side and the fire dissipates. The helmet turns toward Crane. Actually, Aaron. Turns to Aaron first. I don't suppose you'd mind if I just had a little chat with my family, would you?
No, I don't think so. Perfectly fine with me. I'll just be over there. He indicates to a nearby corner.
Do you just walk over there?
Yeah, he just kind of shrugs and you need a moment? Great, I'll be right over there.
Grabs pillow, grabs phone, heads to Facebook.
No. Aaron is like, I don't want any part of this drama.
Aaron posts up at the corner. Luciole waits patiently, his helmet following Aaron's movements until he arrives at the corner. Aaron's still in sight, but just distance enough away where conversation isn't easily overheard. And then the helmeted figure turns back to you. And he opens his arms up wide to you, Crane. And he says, "No greetings for a long-lost brother?"
Hug me, brother! Brother, you're looking quite well, considering.
He reaches up and says, "Oh, a moment." And he grasps the helmet in two gauntleted fists and raises it up off of his head. And you see your brother.
Describe him in detail for the notes, please.
Painfully ashen. Normally very red-hued skin is now the lightest shade of like gray pink with how pale he is. The horns, one of them is shattered and the other is twisted like a tree trunk that has been blighted by drought. And his eyes are oh so empty. But he smiles, and it's a sharp, wide, hungry-looking smile.
Crane puts a hand to his chin. It's just like starts pacing around a bit. Brother, I know you took after the family quite a bit, and you did not quite condone my interest in my spells, but did you not remember anything of what I told you about how you do not want to become undead but control them? You could have at least remembered that well from all of our arguments.
The smile fades away, and you much more gravely and seriously. You know we'd all still be alive if it wasn't for that.
Oh, going to blame me for this? That may be true, but it also was something of an unfortunate occurrence of someone not holding up an end of their deal. But no matter, I mean, eventually you all
No
end up
matter?
this way.
No matter.
Well, the
None
only
of that
matter.
death means anything to you?
Well, on the contrary, it meant a great deal to me. As all of you were wasted on that lich.
The greatest waste is you, brother.
That may be the case, but at least I'm not the one currently bound to some fiend or creature that was so caught up in some mundane emotion such as love that he cast away and became what he is now. Though it does sound as though you had some instrument in bringing me back, and I will say that I'm quite grateful for you, brother.
He stretches his arms out and looks up at the gray sky and does a little spin. Oh yes, I see how wonderfully free and powerful you have become here in this realm. Can't even leave, can you?
It's true. But that's why I have them working with me. They will be able to
Working
take
with
care
you?
of that. Yes. Currently, at least.
Or being used by them?
I would highly doubt that, considering one of them I currently have
Would you?
stored in a skull.
It doesn't seem like you can do very much without them.
Hmm.
You're rather like a parasite on this party.
Yes, but even a parasite can grow strong. But it is of no matter, because I will continue my research, continue to delve into the secrets, and you are currently stuck.
He gives a tiny smile at the stuck comment. Not for much longer.
Tell me, does Strahd have an idea of what he wishes to do with the rest of his domain, that he calls it? Because it seems as though, from the talk of others, there seems to be another quite intrigued by this domain. One that you
Indeed.
might be familiar with. Oh, wait. You never got the chance to meet them because you were away from home when your family needed you.
The smile turns into a snarl. And I suppose you were there to take care of them oh so tenderly, weren't you?
Uh, yes.
Not off making any deals.
I could have been
Not
able
out
to take care of them
seeking
much better.
powers that are far, far out of your reach, were you?
Brother, you hold me in such low regard. It's almost as if you lost your sense of love for your brother that you kept telling constantly that I was going to do such great things.
I came here to see what became of you. I saw the ashes. I saw what remained. I saw where you were buried, and I thought that would be the end of it. But no! Oh no! That was not far, far from the end of things where you were concerned. For not only were you not dead, but you decided to come back and curse me with this knowledge of what you did. Never in my wildest dreams did I think you might be responsible. But Strahd has opened my eyes.
He has opened your eyes and taken your mind.
A mind is a flimsy and mortal thing. At least that we are agreed upon now. That mortality is the great enemy here, is it not? You said you were interested in learning, little brother. I wonder if the treasure troves of the libraries of Ravenloft would interest you. I did not come here only on family matters. I also have a business proposal for you.
Oh, brother. Brother, brother, brother. Do you miss me so much that you would come to me and try to get me to also become a mindless drone for Strahd? You have been told what happened with the previous person I tried to make a deal with. What makes you think that I would trust another other than myself? What makes you think that I would put myself under someone else's authority anymore? I finally got free of Father's strong hand. I was betrayed by somebody I thought could teach me. And then I came here and met with death at the hands of, well, not directly, but the very man that you currently work for. And yet you think that I would swoop so low, be such a meager fellow to lick the boots of Strahd. What happened to that high and mighty Lucio Lethair that wore the scarf of our family with pride, carried on about the ancestry and all that. What happened to you? It seems as though Strahd has not only taken your mind, but your dignity as well.
He smirks a little, reaches into his cloak that surrounds him, and pulls out the scarf you mentioned. Tainted red. There seems to be bloodstains on it. He looks down at the scarf. We are all but pawns in a great game, brother. I had delusions once, yes. But there are powers far, far greater than either of us working to expand their boundaries as we speak. Liches, vampires, dragons, kings.
And
They
that
all
is where
are
you
going
have
to war
lost your
very
mind,
soon.
brother. Because for the brother that I remember, you went off in search of knowledge and to grow stronger to protect the family against those forces. Do you not think that Strahd was but a meager fellow when he began? Where do you think he gained his power? It was through research, through learning. And yet, you would fall before him without even attempting to achieve his might. That is where we're different, brother. Because I will always try to grow stronger. I will always work to steal the knowledge and strength of others. And now I will make sure to do it in a way that will protect myself from them turning me into a pawn as you speak. Sure, Strahd is strong. I will give him that. This domain is a display of his strength. But if you think for one moment that I will not try to take that power from him, given the opportunity, then you are no brother of mine.
Lucille reaches out and offers the scarf to you with an outstretched hand.
Brother. No. Lucille. Is this a display of you giving up on the family? Or is this some sort of gesture? You know what I've done. Why would I want the scarf? That is yours. If you still hold some mind or dignity, wear it.
I have no need for these affection ties any longer. And perhaps when the time comes, you will take it up. And you will see that power is not stolen, only borrowed.
Perhaps. If
Keeps
so,
the scarf out.
Crane will grab the scarf.
Okay.
I never did care much for Father. He always seemed very consumed by our ancestry. Always trying to make the affairs be the affairs. The only one that ever showed me true kindness was you, brother. So I will hold on to this for you. If you do come back to your senses, then I will return it to you. Only because I know how close you held it.
For just a moment, somewhere in that deep well of dark eyes that Lucio now possesses. You see something soften around the edges. Like there's a little peek at someone inside. And his voice almost cracks a little. He says his next few words. I just wanted to be a good older brother. That was all. He swipes his helmet out from under his arm, slams it onto his head, and marches away.
Not even a farewell for your friend.
He disappears around the corner.
How rude.
Crane,
I thought.
the scarf you have is a little bit heavy, and you realize that it's bundled up a little bit around an object. Do you investigate?
Crane's going to look at it there, Aaron, and just go, he's not exactly who he was before. You'll have to forgive him. He seems a little absent-minded right now. And yes, now he's going to.
You unroll the scarf, and you see bundled inside a metal key. Black, iron, and huge. Almost the length of your entire hand, plus a little bit of your forearm. And attached to it is an ornate little card with the word library inscribed on it.
Crane's going to just kind of chuckle and throw it into the bag of holding.
The key. Is he wanting us to kill his master?
I'm not so sure if it's something of that nature, but we have a key and it may come in handy later.
Well, where there is a key, there is a lock.
Yes, perhaps we should continue to investigate what we were set out to do.
I quite agree.
All right. The two of you return to heading towards the church.
Yes.
Okay. As they do, on the other side of town, 4 other people are gathering together. Gwyn and Kel, you guys are rolling a cart up to the
Yes.
warehouse. Okay. Are you all right,
You
Frog?
good?
I'm wounded.
Where are
Oh,
you
God.
wounded?
I'm here. This shit is already so intense. I'm gonna die before the night's over. TV knows my RP heart is weak. Stop typing. I hear it, you motherfucker.
I refuse.
CB's like, yes. Bubby,
He's like,
we're going.
to tech bug, it's
We're
working.
doing plan
Go,
C.
go.
Plan is go. Plan is go. All right, Kel, and Gwyn, you guys are rolling up with the cart as Cargill and Siltrana
Yeah.
proudly show you their invention. Look here, see? We managed to get some of that strange green stone mixed with some of this holy water, and now we have potent cannonballs. Cannonballs of holy fire!
Well, that seems like it might be useful. They won't backfire on us or anything like that, would they?
I have no idea.
Great. I'm sure it'll be fine. Well,
I'm
Kel and I
purely hoping
managed-
that it will just do a lot of damage when we chuck it at Strahd's face.
I think that's what we're all hoping for, multiple things at least. But me and Kel did manage to find a cart, so I guess we can bring whatever we need to at this point.
Excellent. Siltrana, are you all right? He's still. The last time we left off, Siltrana and Cargal had almost exploded themselves lightly.
Somehow, I'm fine.
Very good. I sure hope those other two are getting along all right. May have to go check on them in a little bit. It's been some time. But first, help me get this cannon loaded onto the wagon.
Okay. Well, I guess me and Kelly can definitely help with that.
All right. Anybody that wants to help, roll your strength checks.
Yeah. Strong Gwyn. Strong Kel.
We're just here for the muscle work, you know.
Sultana's just watching while she dusts herself off.
Cargal makes to help, but Gwyn and Kel are both so outrageously strong and powerful. They lift the cannon between the two of them as if it was a sack of potatoes. And this cannon has to weigh like 500 pounds or more easily. But they just... Yeah?
Can I make a performance check to find it afterwards?
Sure. Go ahead.
Oh my god.
It was almost a nat one. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me flex. I'm flexing. I know you can't see it, but I am.
Oh, I will challenge
just so
you.
you guys know.
Oh shit!
I did not do as well.
My flexing is more impressive. I'm sorry.
They chuck it into the
Apparently.
wagon, and there's a thump, a heavy thump of metal on wood as this massive cannon is laid in the bed of the cart. Gwyn and Kel immediately arise by pillar men. Cargal, his jaw is just slightly ajar.
Yeah, well, I guess we can be useful sometimes, right, Kel?
What? I take offense to that one.
Gwyn's like, I have no idea what you mean.
I do my job very well by tanking.
Yeah, and getting things into carts.
Okay, I'll accept it.
Is there any other heavy things that you need moved while we're here, Cargal?
Mouth still open.
Gwyn is like snapping her fingers in front of him. No, I don't think so. Okay, well, great. That was easier than I thought.
Gwyn just kind of claps her hands and is like, job well done. Cargal
Dusting off.
looks uncomfortable and a moment later has a murmured conversation with Siltrana.
Uncomfortable with your masculinity, I see.
Siltrana,
What's the matter?
I feel distracted.
By what?
Oh no! Oh no!
By what? Cargal?
Is this what people have when they have impure thoughts? I've never felt this before.
Sultrana blushes like out of embarrassment and just like covers her eyes.
I like how Cargill's asking Siltrana. She's like, what the fuck?
Sultrana's like, might I ask towards who?
He looks over at
Please let it be Kel.
Gwyn and Kel still kind of flexing. And it's like, so strong.
Is he a bisexual king?
It is the muscles he loves.
Sultrana's just like, Cargal, I feel uncomfortable having this conversation with you.
I'm sorry, I have no one else to turn to, and you were the only one I can speak to. It seems after we've been through so much, I just thought I could talk about it.
Baka
Yeah.
eye.
It's just, I don't know. You're like older than me, and I just kind of picture you more like a father, dude. This is like a friend or a conversation. This,
Even a father figure can feel
Stepfather.
love.
yeah, but they don't tell their kids.
Stepfather.
She continues looking over at Gwen and Kel. But then
Seltrana
There's a
is like
sound.
giving
Oh,
like
go ahead.
awkward like glances over at them, like, oh my god. Like the embarrassed teenager at a party where like their parents like tagged along. Like that's like the kind of like look she has right now. Like, I can't believe this is happening to me right now.
That's the vibes.
Into this, sound rings out through the town. It starts to grow louder and sharper. It's the sound of horse hooves striking cobblestone. A rider is approaching. Cargill draws his sword.
Gwen readies her staff. Frog staff, go.
Emerging onto the square near the warehouse where you have congregated, a armored horse, black as midnight, strides out into the center. On top of which is a black-plated, what seems to be a vampire knight of a similar type to the ones that you had fought last night. But he has extra paraphernalia on his shoulder guards and on his weapons that seem to mark him as someone of distinction. There is gold trace on some of his black plates. And he grips the reins to the horse in one hand, for the other hand is severed.
Quick. Gwen is gonna like pull after she realizes the dude is there. She's gonna like pull on Kel because she's closest to Kel. And in like a hushed tone, she's gonna be like, "Quick, hide behind the wagon. We don't want to mess with him right now. We're not a full team."
Hide,
Yes.
but
No.
he's there.
No, we can't afford to go at
It's
it when
time.
we don't have everyone here. Just
Good.
hide for now. It's fine.
If you guys want to, you can roll stealth checks with
Yes.
disadvantage.
Fuck.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yes. Fuck.
Wait. Before.
Uh-huh.
Where is it? I'm gonna cast.
You do not have time to cast a spell.
Fuck. Fine.
If you want to dive, you have to dive now.
Okay, I'm diving. With disadvantage?
With
Disadvantage?
disadvantage.
Okay, still not bad. Oh no. Oh no.
Kel dives behind the wagon and is still very obviously behind the wagon because he's a 350-pound, 6'5" turtle crouched behind a wagon. Gwen somehow manages to mostly disappear behind the wagon. Seltrana is behind Cargill. The figure drops the reins to the horse and wordlessly reaches in to a pouch at his side and withdraws a letter stamped in red ink. He looks at Cargill and he extends the letter towards him. Cargill looks left, looks right, as if completely convinced that this is a trap, keeps his sword and his shield in his hands, but tentatively scooches forward and retrieves the letter from the Black Rider. The rider doesn't say a word. He grabs the reins to his horse, turns the horse's head back the direction he had come from, and trots away. Cargill is
gonna
left
peek
kind of
up.
watching him disappear. Gwen peeks up.
Yeah, from behind the wagon.
Kel is watching from his turtle shell under the wagon.
Watches the rider leave and whispers to Cargal. Did he just leave?
I think your eyes work as well as mine.
Well,
I have no explanation for this.
okay, well, that's odd. Gwen's gonna slowly come out from behind the wagon, like looking around. Sees the letter in his hands, kind of was noticing it when he was giving it to her, but or him,
Pleading
was
fingers.
Notices your letter, uwu.
Like, ooh.
Booty, cross the
Did you-
floor.
No. Did he give you something?
Just this letter. Did you know who that was? He looks at Gwen, like, wondering why you're so curious.
I mean, no, but I don't know. There's been too many people around. I'm not sure.
A letter?
A letter.
Maybe
I guess I could read it.
letter?
Cracks the
Letter.
wax seal. He cracks the wax seal and presents it. If I could...
Made me hide for a letter?
Should I read it in voice?
Hell, I didn't know it was going to be a letter.
You can if you want to, sure, yeah. You know what? Yeah, read it in Strahd voice, but I'm also going to show it to the players because I have it here on this tabletop.
Oh,
Oh, so fancy.
Go ahead, Strahd.
it brings me great joy to extend an invitation to the wedding of Count Vodstrovich and Serena Kolyana.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Ignore that. Extend your blessings to us upon this glorious evening, for this has been long, long anticipated. Please select your meal for the evening. Fish, lamb, blood of the rebels. No gifts are necessary, as everything residing within Bavaria is already property of the Count.
Bubby, I love how you mispronounced like 7 things on that letter.
Shut up.
You're dying tonight. He's just decided.
English isn't his native language, okay?
You're not making fun of him, you're making fun of Strahd.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Insensitive.
How dare you? This is
kill you for that.
Do it. But you won't.
You have received the
Why would you
letter,
not
the
think I would?
invitation to the wedding. Who?
Just to make sure.
Yes,
Because
Frog.
Bubby's fucking shit messed me up. This is Irina, right?
I mean, he did at least say Irina, right?
No, he said Serena.
Did
I
he?
said I definitely said Serena. Yeah.
Nope,
He
missed
Yeah.
that
said
part.
Serena.
I heard
I was
Serena.
too busy trying to prevent myself from cracking up. I was
Honestly, when you sent me this, I was like, "Shit, it's in cursive."
right.
Did you know cursive? What the
I
fuck? do you
know,
mean?
but that word looked hard.
Oh my God.
Yes, Irina Kolyana,
Okay.
Irina Kolyanovich, the Irina that you
Kolyanovich.
escorted from Barovia, Irina Kolyanovich.
Yes. Continue.
That Irina?
Yes.
Cargill goes, "Who's Irina?"
Gwen is gonna grab the
That's
letter from
Irina.
Cargal with like wide eyes and study it intensely, like inches from her face.
Okay.
This cannot be happening. Oh, Rictave was supposed to find her. What happened? Oh my gosh. She was someone we escorted to Barovia originally. It was so long ago, but we ended up losing her, and then we had one of our friends searching for her, but then I guess that didn't turn out right, and now she's been captured by Strahd. Oh, I know it was the captain
Captured.
of that guard.
They're getting married.
No,
Yeah,
This is
Siltrana and
not-
Cargill are both like, they're getting married.
this is not a normal wedding. You really think Strahd, the devil himself, would have a normal wedding?
Just because he's devil doesn't mean he can't have
Car-
love.
Cargill and Siltrana have both demonstrated their knowledge of matters of the
I
heart
see this.
mere moments ago, so
Gwen is gonna crumple up the wedding invitation and like throw it on the ground. This is ridiculous. He's captured our friend, who we're in charge to take care of it. I was in charge to take care of her.
You're acting like you're never going to see her again. You were invited to the wedding.
I was invited to the wedding, but there's no doubt it'll be a red wedding.
I got that reference.
Thank you. I'm sure
gonna
he
make a
plans
joke
to
about that if you
sacrifice
didn't,
her or
so.
something.
Seltrana, I am as confused as you are. However, I do think she has a good point. This can only bode ill.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens at weddings.
The point is, we need to get to the
I don't
castle
know,
even
I'm a
faster than I
virgin.
thought.
Only no fights, only no magic, only no lizards.
Yep.
We have to get everything ready. We have to go now. We have to go yesterday.
There's only one invitation, though.
Seltrana, I doubt that I doubt that matters right now.
I wonder if we can use this.
Use what?
Cargill reaches down and picks up the invitation. He might be
Go on.
expecting a person, but he won't be expecting
Who had the
siege
invitation in
equipment.
their hand just then?
Cargill.
Cargill.
Like
now.
at the
Oh, at
like
the
before
beginning?
that.
Gwen.
I had it.
It was handed to Cargill, though.
Do you
Yeah,
want
it was-
to roll an Arcana check?
Who?
Gwen.
You.
Sure. I can roll an Arcana check.
Sure, I can do it. Sure, I can do it.
Oh, good.
We did it.
Oh, wow.
I got him,
Yep,
y'all.
she continued.
Got him.
She gets a paper cut, right, Tech?
You think you start hearing a voice, and then you just get like a really bad headache instead.
Facts. Hang on. Can y'all give me just a minute? I just have to be right back. Go ahead and continue on. I'll be right back.
That's okay. We'll go back to Aaron and Crane for now. The two of you make your way without interruption to the church where Father Lucian Petronovich once resided and where the party had brought a saint's bones to him. And they seem to work. They seem to sanctify the place and provide the people with some peace, maybe some protection, questionable, and also the site of Crane's resurrection. Feels good to be back at your birthplace, doesn't it, Crane? You're like 3 days old. And the two of you approach the church, wondering if any of the siege had reached here, if you'll find anything. And as you approach the door, you see that it is barred.
Normal.
Well, that is not unusual, although I am a little bit surprised to see that it has not been smashed in. Using my magic sight, can I see if the bones are still there here?
You walk around to the side of the church, trying to determine if there is a magic entity within. And peering in through one of the stained glass, you can't see inside necessarily. It's not permitting vision, but you figure you're close enough to the pulpit that you would be able to tell. And it appears that there is a magical presence still under the pulpit.
Bones are still here. Is it possible to smash through the window?
You could try.
All right. I Eldritch Blast the window.
Go for it. Just roll damage. Hitting it is easy.
No, it jumps out of the way.
Wah! Oh. You smash into the window with two bolts of Eldritch Fury. And as you do, they strike the glass and there's a shattering sound. The stained glass is scattered into pieces. And you see behind it that there are boards currently holding up as if barring the way, but you hear inside screams of several people. Oh no, they've come for us.
Oh, I guess I should have thought of that. Crane,
Maybe we
Crane,
should knock.
do you have a spell or something to communicate with the people inside?
I do, but this may make for an interesting. You know what? Sure.
Oh
Crane's gonna
no.
use thaumaturgy to boost his voice.
Your voice booms up to 3 times as loud for 1 minute. All right, what do you say?
Hello, humans in the building.
No, that's not what you want.
What?
They, that means we're not human.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not a human.
I'm not
an
human.
elf. That's true. Okay, you know what? You're right. But still, from what I know, they're gonna think we're like Strahd or something.
let me try. Hello, companions in this church building. We mean you no harm. We're just here for the bones, right?
Well, we need to talk to the priest too.
Oh. We're here to talk to your priest and take your bones. The saint's bones.
That could have gone a little better.
Mommy, I don't want the man to take my bones.
What was the priest's name? I forget his name.
Is your priest here?
This is what happens when we let Gwyn do all the talking.
Send him out!
We wish to speak to your priest. We mean you no harm.
They're still screaming inside the building.
It's the man. It's the one you resurrected from the dead.
Screaming intensifies.
Aron is trying his best to like shout as loud as Crane can and failing.
Maybe if I just act as... What was their deity called? Perhaps I should just act as...
Oh no.
It was it was a saint of some sort. I don't remember. I don't care enough about this paltry plane to know saints and things.
Fine,
Can you at least talk through the barrier?
There's
My friend
finally
here says he'll be sure not to fire any more magic at your building.
the screams have turned into loud talking, some shouts. Some people seem to be moving around inside. Finally, there's a face at the window. And you recognize the old man, whose name you have forgotten.
Ah, yes, it's the priest.
Be gone! Oh!
You remember us?
Yes, but why are you? Have you turned on us? And he says this fearfully.
No, we actually have saved the town. The invaders are gone.
Then why have you shattered the window of Saint Petronovich?
The door was barred. I figured there was nobody inside.
Crane snaps his finger. That's his name.
We're free then.
Crane just kind of crosses his arms. Well, in all honesty, we thought the town had been completely wiped by Strahd's forces, so...
Still booming voice through thaumaturgy. Are there any other? Here, come. I will meet with you. And he shuffles off, presumably towards the front of the church.
Ron looks to Crane. That could have gone better, but at least we're in now.
No, it went magnificently. As long as we talk to the priest and get the bones, that's all that matters.
True.
The bar is raised. It sounds like other people are shouting for the father to not do that, but he heeds them not and debars the door and opens it up. Oh, so the rats, the undead, They're gone, yes?
For now.
Yes, we killed the pesky ogre, and now they're gone.
Are there any other survivors?
We found some at the inn and tavern.
At the inn. I will try to collect who I can. We
If
had
we
to.
see any more, we'll point them towards the church.
Thank you. I think everyone is agreed that we must flee the town while we can, but we will try to gather what may be gathered for our long journey.
I don't think that would be wise. Where exactly would you go?
To Kresik, far in the east. Farthest town in all of Barovia, far away from Ravenloft. At
Do
least
you
there
think
we
that
may hope to hold
Strahd
out
doesn't
for a little
have
longer.
The roads already filled with his minions from here to there.
His minions already dwelled here in Vallaki.
Exactly.
There's not much we can do. It is either flee or accept inevitable death here.
Whatever you think suits your people best, Father. We are mostly just here to collect the bones.
The bones!
Yes.
He crosses over to the threshold as if making a feeble attempt at stopping. We have to take the bones with us. They're our only hope of safety.
And they're one of our only hopes for killing Strahd.
No, there must be something else.
Well, if you can think of
Here,
anything,
take my bones instead.
We will most certainly perish without these bones. Surely this can't be what you're looking for.
Put it this way, you'll perish with the bones because you'll be in Keswick or at whatever the name of the town is you said, and Strahd's minions will overwhelm the town's defenses, or you can give them to us and hope that we're your best shot to getting rid of him once and for all.
And as we march towards the building, perhaps Strahd will summon his minions to come and kill us so that you will not have to deal with them.
Go ahead and make a persuasion or intimidation. I think it's more persuasive right now. Go ahead and make a persuasion check, Aaron. Ooh.
I am a charismatic caster with almost no charisma.
Find the Kitter Frog.
Find it.
The father looks to you, looks back at his huddled flock, a few remaining townspeople, bare few of them, it seems. And he crosses his arms and says, I know we're no match for you, but if you have any pity in your hearts, you must leave those bones with us, and I cannot part with them while I yet live.
Ron
Crane
is gonna.
crosses his arms and goes, well, if you can't part with them while you live, and you say that they're not what we need, then what do you think that we need? Because so far, the only things that we know of that could help us eliminate Strahd is a couple items and those bones.
Was there not anything else you were told? The druid that was here spoke of hints given to you, clues to powerful relics.
No, we got one of them.
Yeah, so we definitely got one of them. Crane draws the sun sword at that moment and is like, this is one of them.
His eyes widen in awe at the gleaming sun sword. But she mentioned 3, did she not?
One was there was the spear.
Nope, not the spear.
Let Aron think he's let Aron.
Let Aron have the spear.
You have to remember, Aron's character is the same as if I don't write it down and I don't remember it. That's what Aron thinks. The spear, maybe. What else did we get? I mean, there was the Paladin, but he's not really a thing. I mean, he acts like a thing.
You found a paladin?
Yes, the silver dragons.
Oh, that is very good.
Yeah, yeah.
He looks like he's a little relieved, like maybe he'll get out of this with his bones.
he Aaron puts his arm around the priest. Look, here's the thing. Are you afraid that the people will not follow you if the bones are gone? Would it help if we just got you a set of bones and we told the people it was the bones of the saint? We just took the real ones.
No, these bones will protect us as they have before. It's the only reason we're still here.
You can't just bless any old bones. I mean, you remember the black dragonborn that we had with us, the bard Barum.
Yes, I remember him. I hope he is well.
Well,
He's
we
dead.
we could give you his bones.
Oh no!
His bones surely will protect you.
I respect him, but I do not think he was a saint. It is the sanctified bones that will protect us. I keep trying to tell you.
Couldn't you just pour holy water or something on it and make him a saint?
That is not how it works. I must have these bones, but I will do anything if it is in my power to help you, please, to find anything else that could be of use to you. I wish your goals, our goals, they are the same. I wish to help you, but
the only thing we
Crane
don't
sitting
have,
there, like racking his memory. What did Gwen tell us? What
the
did
only
she
thing we
say?
don't have is
it's all pinned in the campaign chat on Discord.
we were told we were told something. I don't know why this one sticks with me. We were told something. Wait, I remembered something. But we were told something about a guild master buried with a bunch of bottles. Does that ring any bells for you?
Guildmaster?
Yes. I don't suppose you have a guild master buried in the cemetery somewhere.
Sadly, no. I remember a passage, but I don't think you're going to like that answer either. Here. He, at the front. Yes, everything is okay for now, Frog. Here, let me.
It's
Good.
okay, I'm responding here.
Don't worry. Okay, yeah. His office was in the front of the building, and he leads you to that and pulls out a dusty tome from off a shelf and flips through it for a bit, mumbling to himself. And finally, he arrives at a picture with a caption next to it. And it is a picture of Castle Ravenloft, an image which Aaron has seen before. Crane was already dead when the party arrived at Castle Ravenloft. So this is the first time you're seeing it, Crane. A tall structure perched on a mountain with a long stone bridge connecting it to the main road that leads between Barovia and Valaki.
Crane
Tall
still has his
imposing.
arms crossed and leans in and looks at it and just kind of quite gaudy, don't you think? And then mumbles under his breath, "Would you like to have that?"
It says here, see, there was a guild of stonemasons commissioned by the Zaroviches to build Ravenloft. Their work was so superb, they were rewarded in death with a place beneath the castle, in the catacombs.
Hmm.
And perhaps what we're looking for is actually already at Strahd's abode.
You know, I just realized something else, Crane. Do you remember? Wait, are you dead? Maybe not. Do you remember Gwen being addicted to those pastries?
Oh yes, I do remember that.
He was around for that.
When
For a
did
little
she
bit.
actually get rid of that addiction, or has she?
It was part of. I think it was part of bringing you back, but we were supposed to always go over to the mill where they make those pastries, but we never ended up going there. That woman is still peddling her drugs about. I don't know why it comes to mind, but I suddenly realize that might have something to do with something we're looking for. But anyways, so catacomb underneath.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. I gotta go look at what else we have. We did the
No
Vistani.
takers
We got
gone.
the
What do we
book.
do? What do we do?
No. The holy symbol. Wait. No, that's in the dark room. Wait. No, I thought this. Oh, wait. The sword of something. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, the only thing we're missing is the bottles. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. The room full of bottles. Well, I suppose we shall have to look for it when we reach the castle. I really want those bones.
The father had just started looking relieved, and now he's sweating again.
But the question is, how good are these bones going to be against Strahd? It keeps him away, but it does seem to.
We
have
could
protected his
load them
structure.
into the cannon.
A sage blunderbuss, one might say.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Just pepper him
Crane
with
kind of
bones.
cuts an eye over towards like where the bones are at. That could be effective.
I'm afraid of killing him for the bones. The desecration might actually ruin their power. Believe me, if I did not think that the desecration might actually ruin the power of the bones, I would not hesitate in, well, ending the lives of everyone in here.
It will most assuredly defile them.
That's what you're saying to save your life, old man. I am
But
far
do you
older.
not think there's some ring of truth to it?
I am 300 years old. I do believe there is some truth to that. I have seen much in many of your lifetimes, and I am still considered young.
Not to be blessed with such wisdom as to see the fruitlessness in murder.
Crane's still staring at the bones.
He keeps cutting between the tiefling and the elf.
Look, is there nothing we could say or do to persuade you to give us the bones?
No. I must guide my flock to
No.
Krezik. It is my duty.
Aron kind of pushes the priest aside. Good people of Villaki, I have a question for you. I put to you two situations. You can follow this old man to your far east town on the borders of this wretched place where you might be able to hold out for a little bit, eking out a meager existence with what little strength you have left in your bodies, and
People are already nodding.
having these bones protect you until Strahd's minions come down from Ravenloft and end your pitiful existence and
The nodding stops.
put you back in place as mindless zombies. Or you can tell this
When Aaron says "or," Crane goes, "Huh?"
Or you can tell this old priest to shove it, give us the bones, we'll end Strahd once and for all, and you can live in prosperity.
And you might make it out of all of this alive, and not as a zombie minion.
What he said.
Make another persuasion check with disadvantage.
They are not very good at
Disadvantage?
this.
2 20s. 2
Disadvantage.
20s. Dang it.
You already shattered their window. They're already very nervous about you, especially given that Barovia seems to be a small-minded community, and here a horned man and his elven compatriot arrives. And despite the father saying that maybe they can be friends, here you are telling them to ditch them and try to give them what the priest has probably told them is the only reason they're safe for now. Praying over it, being consecrated here in the church with these bones. And there is a moment where a couple people are like, kill Strahd, but that would just solve everything, wouldn't it? And another person goes, that's what the Burgomeister tried to tell us, that we just buck up and everything would go away. And look what happened to Block. And there's a couple back and forth arguments for a moment, and it starts to get a little heated. The father looks at his flock with confusion and sorrow. He seems set about what he knows is the best path forward. But after a moment longer of debate, one of the elderly men still remaining is tasked with delivering a response. He looks up at Aaron with one good eye, the other an empty socket, and seems to be sizing you up. And he goes, I think you're going to get turned into meat pies. There ain't no way some skinny old guy like you, and he pokes you with his cane, has got a chance against the Count.
I cast Primal Savagery without the intent to attack, but to make my teeth appear like fangs.
Okay.
As I just kind of like grimace down at him, like, you think I shall turn into meat pies?
Make a intimidation check.
Finally, something I actually can do. As I promptly still fail. Good Lord.
A little bit of slobber comes out of Aaron and spits past the old man. He casually flicks it with his thumb.
It's corrosive, dude.
It sizzles a little bit, and he doesn't even flinch. His old leathery skin doesn't even show a mark. If you can't even scare me, how do you expect to be scaring the Count, huh? If you think you got a chance murdering the lot of us and then going off and trying to murder another murderer, you got another thing coming.
Crane looks at Crane and just shakes his head.
Arms. Enough of this. And he casts thaumaturgy and causes the light or the candles and lights to start flickering.
Okay.
Let me change this from a question and a debate to a command. If you wish to keep your lives, then hand us the bones that we can rid ourselves of Strahd. Or you can choose to give your lives here and become my minions. And is there like any bodies outside the church?
I mean, there's a whole cemetery, but they're all buried.
Oh, he's doing it.
You have the skull. Just use what's in the skull.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah. What is in? Well, what's left over in the skull? Because I know Barham's in there.
Oh, he's doing it.
Nani, just remember, Barham died for this man.
Yeah.
He's going to release Barham's body from it.
It's not even animated because,
Of course.
Zombarum was killed by the Bone Commander.
And he's going to animate it.
To life once more. And you begin to cast the spell needed to resurrect Zombarum once more. And it fizzles out. Because necromancy doesn't work in the church when the bones are in it. You extend your fist and dark energies coalesce, and then they...
Barham's in the church, but I never walked into the church.
You've been in the church to talk to the father.
Oh, we went into the church? I thought he was still standing there, and
No.
Barham went in.
He unbarred the doors and let you into the foyer. and then you started talking to everybody inside. See, that's why we need the bones to protect us from the madmen of the world.
And at that moment, Crane goes, "These bones are quite handy. We definitely need the bones."
Crane just fucking punches him. Just punches the shit right in his fucking face.
Punches the old man in the face.
I mean, okay, real quick. Who is in the building? Like, how many people? What are their?
Around somewhere between 12, 2 dozen people.
Are
The
there
father
any single
and-
ladies in the building?
That's it.
Are they old, young?
It's a collection of old people and some children.
Okay. I might have something for this.
Wow.
I just
Frog leaves for 2 seconds and the soul of this party turns evil.
this
Honestly,
party was
for
already
real.
evil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, it lasts for an hour.
I cast libido. Oh.
I cast Armor of Agathis. You can try to stop me. I'm taking the bones, but if you lay a finger on me, you will die. And Aron is just going to stride to where the bones are.
There are gasps of fear. Everyone collected is appalled that you would do this. You, coated in ice armor, stride towards the pulpit. You hear a shuffling sound as if someone is following you, trying to stop you. You go to the pulpit and see the bones laid there on a palanquin below the pulpit and gather them up into their silk red sheet. Kind of toss them over your shoulder, and as you do, you hear a thunk as a very ineffectual old man is thumping you with his staff. And as he does, there's a blast of icy energy in his face, and you hear him yell in pain.
I told you, do not touch me. And
He
Aron's
does it
just
again.
going to...
Thunk, and another blast of ice energy out from the armor.
And Aron's just going to walk towards Crane.
All right. You prepare to walk out. Crane, are you following at this point?
Yeah. Crane's just gonna
Okay.
go, why must I make this so difficult? Have a wonderful day.
As you cross over the threshold, people still huddled in fear, watching. The father makes one last lunge with the staff and strikes the armor again, and again is returned another volley, and Aaron just hears a body crumple to the floor as you walk out of the building.
Oh my god.
Crane's going to look at Aaron. I think the old man killed himself. Does that desecrate the bones?
No, that's exactly why I used the spell. He killed himself. I told him it would happen.
No.
You could take his body. It will probably come in handy.
Perhaps I will. You go ahead and carry on. Crane turns and heads back to the church.
As you walk back in, you see the little clump of people gathered around the body of the father.
Die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
Jesus, guys.
Crane
Do you want to
sighs.
co-DM the next one?
Crane lets out this sigh, reaches into his bag, sets a jar on the ground, and walks out. He has left them one of those.
All right. Crane sets down a potion of healing and departs. Bones in tow. We're close enough now that I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is the mid break. We'll see if Frog comes back so that we can have the group RP here towards the latter half of our session, which means it's time for our giveaway. While the rest of the party takes drink breaks and pee breaks and bio breaks galore, you guys need to type in a keyword into the chat. If you have not won yet in the party, you're welcome to enter. Man, there's actually quite a few people on the list that haven't DM'd me what they want yet. Noodle. I think I still owe Luna. I gave Techbug his. Is there anybody else that's run one recently? I think Gruff.
You definitely gave me mine, DB, and I think I gave you yours back. You got just as much enjoyment out of that as I had. We boned Teresa last time.
Oh my god.
Do you remember that? It came
Yes,
out
I
of
was
nowhere.
there. I was there for it. I was there.
It was great.
It was.
Unexpected, but great.
Sweet Svetlana. Yes. Kingdom Coomers has been quite a good game, hasn't it? But
yes.
The rest of you need to type in a magic word into chat. This is a giveaway only run by Port Bluff and not by Twitch. This is for the purpose of promoting Port Bluff across the YouTube. You'll be able to pick a game off of our giveaway list, which is on our Discord. You can find a link to our Discord server down below. And the magic word for this week is Evil Party. Evil Party.
He's so evil.
I hope
like,
I'm not associated with those two.
Rex is like, oh, so this is how you all be. I see. now I understand.
Okay.
Welcome back.
I am back. Me and my little evil self.
Little evil self. My god.
I have never played an evil character before.
How are you enjoying it?
It's quite pragmatic. I can see why the dark side appeals to some people. I mean, let's face it. What was the most evil thing I've ever done before, DB? I think make a dung beetle crawl up someone's butt. I think is the worst thing I've ever done.
Ew.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, Rex. That's pretty evil.
Killing Nia doesn't count. That's not an evil act.
No. I mean, I did get a Cornate sniper rifle one time, but that was just for, like, obliterating a bunch of zombies.
Yeah, it's the Inquisition. There's, means to an end, blah, blah,
Yeah. I never really did anything. The thing was, in the Inquisition, I was a torturer, but I rarely tortured anybody.
I know.
I was never given the opportunity.
I know.
But even still, that wasn't evil. That was just my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a living.
Torturer takes no pride in his job.
I just did what was required.
Literally,
Had
it's
to
a
be done.
living.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. I have never just played a flat out, like, I'm evil because I'm evil character. And Aron didn't start out as evil. It's just been the progression of his character. He just started out as a
Rex?
pirate.
You do got a little bit of RP in ya.
Yeah. When I'm motivated.
A little bit of RP-ness.
Got a little bit of the RP-ness in you,
Yeah, just a little.
Little spirit of RP found you.
Oh no, it's there. I don't mind the RP. It's just there's a point where I'm just like, okay, enough talking. Let's shoot things.
We made it emotionally intense this round, just in time for Gwen to walk away. Oh, Frog's gonna
know.
be so mad at us.
Yeah,
for
she
everything
is.
That happened.
I mean, she wouldn't have been able to do anything.
That's true.
She needs what she needs
She
to do
literally
is
wasn't there.
live stream her watching, like
Don't-
live stream her reaction to all this.
Yes, she needs to watch the YouTube and be like, "What the fuck?" Oh man. Give it a couple more minutes.
Yeah, the only reason I cast the animate dead is I thought I was still standing outside. Because I remembered the bones being in place with Luciole in the building.
You know, I think when we finish Curse of Strahd, we need to do a more lighthearted RP. You know, like Tomb of Annihilation or something.
Something where people just
lighthearted.
die and you don't feel attached.
Wait,
to them.
is it Tomb of? Which one's the 5e one? Is it Tomb of Horrors or Tomb? What is that one called?
Annihilation? Is
Yeah, I thought it was
5e.
Tomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you just
right.
it's a junk. It's just the Temple of Atawatl, where we just
Yep.
go in and plunder the tomb.
It's just arrow traps and spike pits and
Just do Indiana Jones for a little bit.
I'm kind of hoping that if we decide to continue, which I definitely hope we do, that everything after Strahd is going to be less gothic, you know?
Are you talking like doing Secrets of Ravenloft or whatever? Like the one that
No,
takes you to
I'm
20?
talking about what we're going to do for 10 to 20 if we decide to keep going. Because you're only going to be level 10 if you finish Strahd either way, you know?
Yeah.
There's still 10 more levels to go. We could do a lot of things. I have many big plans.
Personally,
we decide to do it.
Personally, I'm thinking a change of scenery, change of location,
For sure.
etc.
For sure. That's what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
making it less gothic and like just taking a different perspective and going different places would be very cool.
And I mean,
But you have to beat the Strahd first.
yeah. If we beat Strahd, I'm leaving Aron behind because he has his plans. His master has his plans for him. Either that or he'll be sailing the high seas on his boat.
You are a pirate.
I have too many other character ideas to just keep playing with Aron.
All right, I am going to take my break to give Frog maximum amount of time. I'll be right back.